Hey guys, hope you guys have been doing well. It's been a while since I've posted anything, mainly because I've been busy at work and it's just hot and humid out in Florida and I haven't felt the need to go out and venture pretty much. I did take a trip out west, to Utah, Arizona, Grand Canyon, things like that. But when I get back in Florida, it's just too hot and humid to do anything. But I did want to make a short video about my last year of ownership for my 2026 Sierra EV and just some of the issues it's been to the dealer to get fixed. Some minor things like pinched window seals for the rear windows. But the last month it's been at the dealer dealing with AC vents that are stuck on the face level and the footwell level. I've seen online where some people's will get stuck on the defrost. And I've had it in there for them to try to diagnose it once before and they weren't able to figure it out. But it just got more prevalent and it did actually get stuck on me on defrost one time. And that was, when I started making this appointment to get it back to the dealer. And apparently GM isn't really making that technical document very prevalent when the dealers are looking for those diagnoses reports and the tech doc that goes along with it. So my dealer had to really dig to try to find it. So I figured I'd show you guys what my reports are that they gave me, so my work orders, and then some of the tech docs. So hopefully when you go into the dealer, if you're having these issues, you can just provide these technical document numbers to your dealer. I will say my dealer, Beck Chevrolet in Palaca, is really good. They actually gave me a Hummer EV, a 3X version to drive around for the last 3 weeks while they were fixing mine and waiting on parts. So I've been very appreciative for Beck Chevy in Palaca, Florida, for being able to give me something to drive at least. At least it wasn't a Chevy Volt or something like that. So I got to drive around the Hummer, experience, that, and it was pretty cool. But let's go ahead and get into these technical documents and the numbers, and I'll kind of show you what each one of these little items that I've had it into the dealer for. All right, so let's go through these work orders here. So at 4,400 miles, this was just basically installing the camper tires on the wheels. They just associated it with my truck. So that is nothing to do with the truck, that has to do with the camper. All right, at 5,586 miles. Let's see, this was having to deal with the rear window seal pinched. So at the factory, just the mounting that they use to hold the doors in place as the tech is installing the door. I think they use like a J-hook or something, and it just pinched the window seal in there. And I think that I've seen them on Hummers, I've seen them on Silverados. So basically all they did was just replace the seals. So for part number, it doesn't say which one's right or left, drivers or passenger, but I have 8564, 7982, and 7983. Those parts were just replaced under warranty. Also, customer states rear seat intermittently shows the right rear is buckled on the display when nobody is sitting there. They ended up finding that the seatbelt latch was stuck closed and they replaced the seatbelt's latch. So I was getting an indication on the dash that showed either somebody was sitting there and there was a X, or somebody was not sitting there and it was a check mark or something like that. I can't exactly remember, but I'll show it on the screen. All right, at 7,071 miles, I was driving up to Hannah Park, pulling the camper, and I've been having tire pressure leaving the tires and the rear, both tires. They found one screw in one and patched it. They didn't find anything in the other, and I was still losing air after that, but whatever. I was up at George Moore in Jacksonville, so I had to unhitch, give them the truck for a while. So let's see, they did a multi-point vehicle inspection, and the 2-year scheduled maintenance. It's part of our warranty. It's probably just lubricating body components. I don't even think they did anything, but whatever. They dealt with the rear tires losing air. And then there was an integrated brake assist recall that they did. Recall N252521591, where they reprogrammed the front camera per the recall instructions. And then I declined the car wash because I was going camping anyway. All right, and at 7,995 miles back at Beck Chevrolet, I asked them to see if they could find where the other tire was losing air. They found the screw. And then they also did the Android 14 update. And with the Android 14 update, the only thing I thought was important was in the middle of our volume knob, there's that mute button you can press and have it actually mute now. So that was that. In the meantime, I ordered 2 new tires for the rear. And the next time I took it into Beck, it was 8,433 miles. So I took the tires up there, had them rotate the front to the back and put the new ones on the front. They did another multi-point inspection, supposedly. And the customer states, vehicle intermittently will show on nav vehicle in motion, but the location is displayed thousands of feet off of the actual position. So there's multiple times I'm driving parallel to the St. Johns River, and it would show me actually driving in the river. So I did some research and looked at the telematics module, and that's kind of where I thought it was coming from. So I found an update for the telematics module, N262547330. And apparently this did not fall in line for my VIN, so they didn't do anything. The next labor has to deal with the same thing. So they contacted OnStar and they reset the GPS system. I haven't had any issues with that since. Let's see. And this was the first time I'd brought it in with the HVAC where the vents are not blowing where commanded. They didn't find any DTCs, no bulletins at the time. I think that's it for this one. So in the meantime, I was still seeing some issues with the air vent, still seeing some issues with the propulsion error warning light. So I've just kind of been documenting what I'm seeing, taking videos, showing that the dash is not blowing where I'm commanding it to do so, and taking as many pictures as I could. So the next time I brought it in, we're at 9,133 miles. Customer states after the vehicle has sat off in the sun, like when parked at work during the workday and vehicle is remote started, HVAC will cool, but stays stuck on the face and feet vents, no matter my customer selection. And it would intermittently get stuck on defrost as well. So I brought it back because it got stuck on defrost one day and it was driving me crazy. I was sweating my ass off into the truck. So this is what they wrote for the repair. They removed the dash and the frunk, removed HVAC housing, and replaced the HVAC heater housing per document number 7163687. Then they reinstalled the housing, the dash, the frunk, and performed the evac and the recharge of the system. Also, during replacement, they found that the frunk right trim was missing the retaining clips, and the only way to get the pins is with the trim. So they had to order the new trim and they replaced that trim panel. So, but at least the HVAC system's, functioning correctly. I'm getting air commanding the vents that I want it to come out. So I'm happy there. They did updates and found that a serial data gateway module was causing reduced propulsion issues, and they replaced that module and reprogrammed it, performed a serial data setup, and cleared all the DTCs. So they also did a multi-point inspection too, but whatever. But this was the time they had given me the Hummer, and it was like three weeks waiting on parts and diagnosis. So they were able to fix everything as of now. So I'm happy. And hopefully some of these tech docs can help some of you guys. So appreciate it. Hope it helps. And if you got any questions, feel free to put them down in the chat and I'll try to answer however I can. But thanks for following along. Y'all have a good one.